reality is we lose water one of three ways. We sweat it out, we pee it out, or we breathe it out.
Mm-hmm.
On an average day without exerting ourselves, we lose 1.5 liters to 2 liters of water just breathing. Now, when you're sucking wind because you're exercising or whatever, you lose a lot more water. Mm-hmm. So literally, these psychics were getting dehydrated and dropping their blood sugar. So what's the simple solution? While you're doing a reading, drink a can of pop, not diet pop. Aspartame won't do a damn thing for you. But you drink regular pop, or you drink a fruit juice, orange juice, apple juice, something like that. So I started having the psychics do that, and they would drink a sugary drink while they're going through this. No drop in blood sugar, no change in respiratory rate. They're able to hang on to their fluid. So this proved we found an effect, we found a cause, and then the ultimate effect of we resolved the problem just by drinking a sugary drink. So we tried to look at a lot of different things. I looked at height, how many psychics are tall, how many psychics are short. I was going to look at weight, but I didn't have the stones to ask a woman to get on a scale, so we didn't look at weight.
Wise man, you.
I may be crazy, but I'm not stupid.
Oh my goodness!
But I looked at the astrology cycle to see. I expected that to be split up pretty even, and actually the majority of them were Pisces, and I think Gemini. I'm not positive. I can't remember the second one, but I tried to look at anything to find any correlation. And we found some cool trends. We found more than I expected. But the autoimmune disease was the one that just blew me away, and that's where I want to take our investigation next.
Well, that hasn't just blown me away. That has rocked my socks, Chuck.
It does to a lot of gifted people. When the minute I mention it, they go, "Oh my God, I never realized that was a factor. I've got this, I've got that," And one of the interesting things, too, is so many psychics have multiple autoimmune diseases, just like you. And I think that's interesting. That in itself is interesting. So there's got to be a connection, and I want to find out what it is.
I mean, and, it's really funny because I suppressed for so long because, I know you can't tell it by my voice, but I'm Southern. Right?
Really?
And I know,
really?
You're shocked, right? But
I thought you were maybe Southern Wisconsin.
I know, right? I can do that voice, but it's really sad when I do. But, here, we do tend to put our crazy out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea for people to talk to when they're going by, but we don't talk about the paranormal. Right? We don't talk about the fact that we can do things or know things in advance or, I am just always blown away. So I just quit talking about it. I quit telling people things and just made life easier that way. But by suppressing it, it was coming out in other ways. I was just a wide open adolescent, I'm telling you. But we have...
You got to be who you are. You have to be who you are. You can't hide it.
You have to, because it comes out in other ways.
It does.
And we have another question from Frank. And he says that y'all have got to sit down and he's buying the coffee. And I said, he is not buying the coffee. I'll buy the coffee because I'm going to be sitting in that circle. So he says, what you're talking about with the brain functioning under stress, we know that emotional turmoil can create PK and TK energy. But what are your thoughts on lupus? Oh, tulpas. Well, sorry, Frank. Or thought forms induced by fear. Could it be possible?
The thought forms induced by fear can be hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we got to prove it in the laboratory. We got to, come on up to St. Charles, Illinois, and come on to my lab, and I'll put you under the EEG. But we have to see exactly what's going on, and that's because the minute we don't have quantitative testing psychiatrists are going to come up with all these it's probably a hallucination. We need to put you on antipsychotics. I have 3 psychologists, a mental health hospital, and psychiatrists. When they have somebody who has a spirit attachment and they're on antipsychotics, the antipsychotics don't work because they're not psychotic. They've got a spirit attachment. They refer a patient to me, and I do hypnosis and spirit releasement therapy to get the spirit out of them because it's not schizophrenia. You go to your doctor and say, I'm hearing a voice, first word out of their mouth is, oh, you're schizophrenic.
Right.
And schizophrenic is a diagnosis of exclusion. I have 34 medical conditions that will cause you to hear voices. None of them are either paranormal or a mental illness. So the reality is, if they're going to sit there and give a diagnosis, they've got to do the exclusionary work first. And if they're not going to, then they can't declare that it's a psychosis. So we need to be able to test these people quantitatively. And unfortunately, so many, healthcare doesn't want to admit this, but so many diagnoses really are diagnosis of exclusion. And did they really exclude every other possibility? And that's where I come in. We're going to exclude the obvious before we jump to any conclusions. And when all is said and done, it's paranormal. Read it and weep. It's just that simple.
Yep. What do you think, if you could accomplish anything in this field, you're already rescuing children, you're already putting sex traffickers away where you can and striving to continue that, what is something else that you would consider one of your ultimate goals with the human psyche?
Well, part of the reason I wrote the book, part of the reason I'm doing this radio show, and I teach the CSI Psy class, which will teach it'll teach anybody to use their intuition and do remote viewing. I'm looking, what I would like my legacy to be is to put teams together. I've got the greatest team on earth. These people are just, they're my gift to get this team, to get these dedicated people. I always say they row the boat, I just navigate. And they are just the most amazing people. But there's other amazing people out there too. I would like to see more teams form. And then we can do twice the work, 4 times the work, 16 times the work. If we can get other teams out there that can do remote viewing, find missing kids, close cold case murders, shut down human traffickers. That's why I urge so many to take the course, because then you can start your own team and you can change the world one child at a time. And is there anything more rewarding than helping a child?
No, there's not.
It's just, exactly. They are our future. They literally are our future. And so let's protect the children. And that's what we need to do. And so that's my ultimate goal, is to see other teams pop up and be able to do this work and carry on. I can only do it so long. I'm getting to be an old fart. I'm gonna get drunk and fall off a bar stool and break my neck, and then somebody's got to carry on.
Well, if you're gonna go, that's a way to do it.
Yeah, I want to die peacefully in my sleep, like my grandfather, not screaming in terror like his passengers. Anyway.
Oh, you are a mess.
Isn't that the truth? But
yeah.
Seriously, I'd like to see so many other people pick up the torch and keep going, so that this can just keep going on, and we can help humanity.
Well, it is all about helping humanity. I have friends that are so shocked because, you know, I think that we're given these gifts to help. There's a reason people have them. And
that's why they're called gifts.
Yes. And whether it's, I usually just, like if I'm doing an investigation or something, I like to bring people peace in their homes, because you should never be abrading your sanctuary. And
no, I agree with that.
So that's where I've used them. And, the other stuff, I use it for my own guidance, because you don't talk about that, right?
Yeah.
It's really hard to break that. So, I think that what you're doing is you're providing methodologies to test for the physiological proof that someone has these abilities, which in turn is giving them confidence to use those abilities for the greater good, which in turn is bringing other people who know they can do things but they don't know why or how into a sphere of influence that can help them develop and focus. I mean, how great is that you're doing that?
Well, it's the team that does it. They, as I said, they're just the most amazing people on earth. They do the heavy lifting, and many of them, when I first interviewed them, they didn't have the confidence. They always they knew they were gifted, but what could they use their gifts for to help others?
Exactly.
And I said, let's go find some missing kids. And so they feel rewarded because now they have a purpose. They have a reason for using their gifts. They have a reason for why they are the way they are. And they get to hold their head high when all this is going on, because now they can sit there and say, yeah, you can make fun of me all you want, but we're helping people.
We've got to go for 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Everybody just smoke them if you got them. If you don't, then trust us, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Thank you for being here, and enjoy this.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 45 minutes after the hour. And we are back, so I'm so excited to be here, and I hope y'all are enjoying the show nearly as much as I am, because I'm having a blast, and I'm learning stuff, and I'm so absolutely shocked. And I'm even more shocked that Frank Lee says one more